What if I told you the most important tools for controlling civilizations were not armies, not weapons, not even money, but art and architecture? That cathedral towering over the town square, that palace dominating the skyline, that painting hanging in a gallery. These weren't just decorations, they were declarations. They shaped how people prayed, how they obeyed, how they even imagined the world. Architecture and art are civilization's memory and its megaphone. They've been used to inspire faith, enforce power, spark rebellion, and rewrite entire histories. And they're still doing it today. Stick with me. Because once you see the hidden language of art and architecture, you'll realize you've been living inside their influence your whole life. Architecture is often mistaken for utility, walls, roofs, comfort, but in truth it's civilization's loudest voice. Take the pyramids of Giza. At first glance, giant tombs, but look deeper, they were precision-engineered statements of eternal rule. Every block screamed, "The pharaoh is divine and his power will last forever." Imagine being a farmer in ancient Egypt looking at those towering structures. You'd know instantly who was in charge without a word spoken. Or ancient Greece. The Parthenon wasn't just a temple. Its columns, symmetry and proportions were philosophy carved into stone. Balance, reason, order. Athens projected itself as the birthplace of rational civilization, because its architecture made people believe it. Architecture is civilization sculpted into the skyline. Now think about what architecture leaves behind. The Colosseum in Rome tells us Rome wasn't just about empire, it was about spectacle, distraction, and control. Bread and circuses. Keep the citizens entertained, and they won't revolt. The Mayan temples at Chichen Itza weren't just places of ritual. They were astronomical calendars carved in stone, aligning with equinoxes to demonstrate divine connection. The architecture made religion visible. The Great Wall of China? More than defense, it was a national identity marker. This is where China ends and the other begins. It was both a shield and a message, and the best part? These buildings outlast their builders. Long after kings and emperors turned to dust, their architecture still tells their story. But here's the twist, it tells the story they wanted remembered. History is biased towards stone. The huts of peasants rot away. The palaces of kings endure. Which means when we read history through architecture, we're often reading propaganda carved in granite. But it's not just the past. Architecture molds our present too. Cities designed around public squares and markets, think Florence or Marrakesh, encourage connection, commerce, debate. Cities designed around highways and skyscrapers often isolate, pushing people into cars and boxes, separating the wealthy from the poor. Hospitals filled with natural light and gardens, patients recover faster. Schools with open, inviting layouts, students learn better. Prisons designed with dehumanizing concrete blocks. People come out broken, not rehabilitated. Even modern examples like Brasilia, Brazil's planned capital, show this. Its sweeping boulevards and monumental government buildings look incredible from above, but for everyday citizens it's isolating, hard to walk, and emotionally cold. The design reflected power, not comfort. Architecture isn't just where we live, it shapes how we live and even who we become. Now let's talk economics, because architecture is also currency. The Bilbao effect is legendary. One Guggenheim museum, designed by Frank Gehry, transformed a struggling Spanish town into a global destination, flooding it with tourists, jobs, and money. Paris without the Eiffel Tower would still be Paris, but with it, it became an icon that draws millions yearly. Dubai used the Burj Khalifa not just as a skyscraper but as a branding tool to scream, "This is the city of the future." But not all wealth is shared. Modern Starkitect towers often serve as safety deposit boxes for billionaires. Glittering skyscrapers with empty apartments bought for investment, not living. Meanwhile, housing shortages grow worse below. From the Roman aqueducts to today's mega malls, architecture is an engine of wealth, but often an engine built for the few, not the many. If architecture is the skeleton of civilization, art is its soul. From the cave paintings of Lascaux to digital murals on city walls today, art has always documented what it means to be human. Our fears, our triumphs, our questions. Renaissance paintings didn't just depict people, they glorified human potential. Impressionism didn't just paint landscapes, it captured fleeting emotion in color. Modern abstract art, a reflection of 20th century chaos and fragmentation. Art speaks where words fail. It can make us cry, make us rage, make us question. And societies have always known its power. The powerful have always funded art for one reason: control. The Medici family bankrolled artists like Botticelli, Michelangelo, and Leonardo, not just to support creativity, but to immortalize their dynasty. Their wealth became eternal in paint and marble. The Catholic Church filled cathedrals with stained glass and frescoes to terrify illiterate peasants with visions of heaven and hell. You didn't need to read the Bible, you saw salvation or damnation right above your head. In the modern age, dictators learned the same trick. Soviet propaganda posters, Nazi films by Leni Riefenstahl, American wartime comics, all used art to sculpt belief. And here's the kicker, it worked. Millions obeyed, fought, or resisted based on the images they consumed. Even today, museums decide what counts as art. When African sculptures were displayed as tribal artifacts instead of masterpieces, generations learned to see those cultures as primitive. Art isn't neutral, it decides who matters. But art is not just the tool of rulers, it's the weapon of the oppressed. Graffiti on Roman walls mocked emperors. Underground plays in Soviet Russia ridiculed the regime. Picasso's Guernica exposed the horrors of bombing civilians. Hip-hop gave voice to disenfranchised youth in the Bronx and went on to influence the entire globe. Art is often the first spark of rebellion. It amplifies silenced voices. It challenges official narratives. Even in the Arab Spring, murals and music carried messages faster than political speeches. In South Africa, protest art helped dismantle apartheid by forcing the world to see injustice. Art doesn't just reflect society, it argues with it. Art also binds people together. Think of Japanese tea ceremonies, blending performance, design, and philosophy into communal rituals. Or Mexican Day of the Dead altars, where art bridges the living and the dead. Or the explosion of street art in cities like Berlin or Sao Paulo, transforming walls into shared voices. Art festivals, galleries, concerts, film screenings, they create belonging, they cross borders, they turn strangers into a community, and in every case, art gives identity, to a neighborhood, to a nation, to a people. Without it, civilization is just infrastructure. With it, civilization becomes human. So, let's bring it all together. Architecture isn't just shelter, it's power carved into stone. It records history, it molds behavior, it drives wealth, and it decides who thrives and who gets left behind. Art isn't just beauty, it's civilization's soul. It documents, persuades, rebels, and connects. It's been used to oppress and to liberate. Together, they are civilization's DNA. They are how the powerful shape the world, and how the powerless fight back. And here's the challenge. Every building, every painting, every song, every mural. You should ask, who made this? Who paid for it? And what story are they trying to make me believe? Because the moment you start seeing art and architecture this way, you realize you're not just walking through a city or scrolling through images. You're walking through layers of influence and control. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If this opened your eyes, even just a little, then don't let it stop here. Hit subscribe to keep digging deeper, drop your thoughts in the comments, I read them all. And share this with someone who needs to see how art and architecture really shape civilization. Because civilization isn't just built, it's designed.